Hello, welcome to a channeled energy reading for September 2023. Within this video, I'll be sharing with you the channeled messages I received about this month's energy, its purpose and design, as well as introduce you to a spiritual being that came forward to be our guide, teacher, and inspiration. This month has been rather unique in that we have a specific individual, a specific being coming forward to be our teacher and guide. Oftentimes in my channeled readings, I tap into the energy being sent to us by Spirit. It is energy that has been selected in conversation with Mother Earth and with our spirit guides about what we need individually and collectively to help us continue to heal and expand. As a result, these frequencies of energy are either in alignment with, or at least attuning to, the lesson, the purpose to the month's energy. When we can tap into that knowledge, we can utilize it to not only navigate our month more effectively, but also expand and heal. We can retain that perspective of not only being here as human beings, but within the context of the greater cosmic picture. As a result, oftentimes what I'm tapping into is different concepts, ideas, tools. This month is unique in that what I'm tapping into is a spiritual being. This spiritual being was someone who was new to me in many ways, someone who had been hidden, and his presence and introduction into my environment has significantly changed my perception of the environment that I'm in and even the human experience itself. Before I introduce this individual, I want to comment that all the time we are being guided by different spiritual beings. Sometimes they are our ancestors who have passed. They are various souls who are preparing to or have been here on Earth. They can be different beings from different dimensions, different realms, all of them coming together to help guide and support us in this personal evolution, as well as the impact that that has on our collective evolution. A wonderful example of this is within the ancient Egyptian culture. You look to it and there is a huge influence of sacred geometry which comes from the sixth dimension and the Sirians. All around us within various cultures, languages, even us as individuals, we are being influenced and guided by different spiritual beings. When we pass, we may even become one of those spiritual beings for someone else. The spiritual being that came forward in this month's energy, who will be our guide and teacher, expanding our comprehension of life here on Mother Earth and the human experience, this spiritual being is known as Father Nature. When I first sat down with my spirit guides, I ground, I call them in, I call in Mother Earth, I call in Spirit, I call in anybody who's going to have anything to share to this channeled insight about the month's energy. The first thing that came through in this meditative state was the green man. He's often seen in imagery as a man's face created through leaves. We see a leaf creating his nose, a beard, his eyebrows. It is this construct of forest, the leaves, the branches that create a man's face. And he is known as the Green Man. While there is a bunch of lore and mythology around this spiritual being, ultimately the presentation of this imagery introduced me to the spiritual being stepping forward. Father Nature is a spiritual being, just like you and I are. We have souls. We are our own individual self. And Father Nature has been overlooked by a great many cultures over the course of time and history. And now he is drawing our awareness back to his presence so as to aid us in achieving a deeper level of healing, a deeper level of balance. As a result of his introduction into my realm of knowledge, I did a lot of research preparing for this video over the course of a number of days about how we understand our homeland, this place that we are living in at present. Interestingly, through various cultures and through the course of time, on and on and on, I keep coming across Mother Earth, but finding evidence and the presence of Father Nature has been very hard to find. And what this has shown me is just how we are still in this process of evolving, of learning, that our very comprehension of life itself is something that is actually rather limited. You look to science and you find that the concept that the earth is round, that we have gravity, the concept of germs, all of these are actually relatively new in the scope of human existence, that we are still in the process of learning what it means to be a human being, some of those intrinsic truths that we all share, such as free will. We're also learning about how the trees talk to each other, or about how the water retains memory. So how you talk to water will influence it. How you talk to a seedling will influence how it grows. That all of this research that we are in the process of uncovering is really teaching us life itself, teaching us about the world that we live in, about us as human beings. And this is one more element to our understanding of creation here in this world. Within my channeling, the presence or the arrival and introduction for my spirit guides into greeting this spiritual being, which Father Nature, but if that's a little bit harder to say, also known as the Green Man, his presence, while new to me, new to my understanding of Mother Earth, and when I look out into the world, what I see, he actually is a balancing force and in alignment with so much of our previous understanding of life, that his presence coming forward is designed at this time to guide us, to teach us, to inspire us on a micro level and also on a macro cosmic level. Mother Earth is feminine by nature, and so before we really get into the influence of the Green Man, I want to share a little bit about feminine and masculine within the cosmos. The feminine and the masculine, the divine feminine and masculine, is not restricted to gender. You look to some of the things in this world and you're not going to find a gender, that's a man, that's a woman. You are instead aligning with vibration, and that vibration creates kind of like a category, two ends of the spectrum of polarity. And it is known that these two ends of polarity, that duality, come together and bring balance. We see that symbolized by the yin and yang symbol. We see evidence of its presence in our world through it being one of the 7 Hermetic laws, the law of polarity. This idea that things can be categorized as masculine and feminine. We see this with the sun. The sun is seen as masculine. And then we look to the moon, there's the balancing force. We look to the active, which is seen as a masculine trait, and then passive, which is a feminine trait. Over and over and over again, you can categorize things as feminine or masculine, and then within ourselves, we carry both. On a soul level, we hold the vibration of masculine and feminine, and then that both ends of those polarities, it is within both ends of that polarity that we can experience so much, and we can utilize it to be passive in a moment, to be active, even if we are a man or a woman. That our soul is going to hold both vibrations and then have a dominant ratio. For example, one soul might be more of a feminine vibration than a masculine. They'll carry both within themselves, but be identified as feminine. We can see this looking to the Sirians of the 6th dimension, the influence of that ancient Egyptian culture. These Syrians do not possess a physical body, but they are identified as masculine because of their vibration. You go to the fifth dimension and you'll find the Pleiadians, and they are identified more as a feminine vibration. When you are observing the world around you, when you're observing people, most of them are going to be classified as masculine or feminine. A masculine trait, a feminine trait, but we can actually hold both. So when we talk about the divine feminine and masculine, we're actually stepping beyond just human, and we're going into the greater spiritual world. As I said, it's one of the Hermetic laws, that this is something that we're seeing not just as human beings, but we're seeing that evidence of both polarities within Mother Earth and beyond Mother Earth, within the galaxy, within the different realms and dimensions. I bring this up so that we understand that we are possessing of both, and we are also balancing, that one is not meant to be stronger than the other. They are meant to express themselves in their own way. What the sun has to offer and what the moon has to offer are two different things. However, they are both having intrinsic value of our quality of life here on Mother Earth. As we can tell by the term Mother, the planet Earth, that spiritual being, if you think about us as human beings and our soul, that we are very small compared to the totality of Mother Earth, that we have consciousness, and Mother Earth does as well. It's a different form in nature. She is a planet and we are human beings, but she has a consciousness, and her vibration is that of the feminine. Within the Hermetic law of polarity, within the yin and yang symbol, we know in duality that balance and true achievement is found when both of the ends of a polarity are found. So to have Mother Earth to bring balance, to bring stability, we are in need of a masculine. Interestingly though, in a lot of the research that I've done in preparation for this video, that research has shown me that over and over through various cultures, through the course of human history, we can connect with and identify Mother Earth. Very few cultures actually identify her as masculine. Interestingly, Egypt identifies her as masculine, but I wonder how much of that is influenced by the Syrian, which is masculine, influencing the culture of Egypt. But we see in various cultures this identity of Mother Earth being the feminine, a creator, to not only offer creativity, but rebirth and fertility and creation. But I've not really been able to find a lot of evidence of a balancing force in the masculine. The few times I could find a balancing force, it was either through Father Sky or through Father Time. However, time is a human construct that is not applied to everybody in the same way. How we perceive time and experience it is influenced by the language that we speak, and it's also something that we as human beings are experiencing, but not necessarily when you step beyond that into the higher dimensions. So to balance Mother Earth with something that is so limited to us as human beings like Father Time did not feel balancing to me, which led me back to that initial channeled reading that I did with my spirit guides that started this whole conversation about presenting this spiritual being known as Father Nature, or the Green Man. While it has shifted my perception of what I see when I look out my window and what I think about when I think about life here on Mother Earth and the beings that are involved in my existence, you talk about a soul and spirit and Mother Earth and our spirit guides, and now you're introducing, or for maybe you, just reaffirming that there is the Green Man, this Father Nature, that we are cradled within both ends of the polarity, that we are nursed and taught and healed by not only the feminine but by the masculine. His presence and meeting this spiritual being within my channeling has opened up this whole new world, and that's what his presence in this month's energy is going to be offering us. It's about bringing that deeper healing, bringing that deeper balance, because we're now having a representation of both polarities. This is going to influence us on a lot of different levels and offer us a lot of different things, which I'd like to tap into that next. One of the first things that can be benefited by developing this relationship with Father Nature is by interacting with Mother Earth and acknowledging her existence, her consciousness within our own mind, and talking with her like we would talk with spirit or talk with our spirit guides. We are directing energy, we're directing love and attention, we're directing appreciation and gratitude to Mother Earth. She can then take that energy that we're sending her and channel it to create, to heal, to benefit us as individuals and us collectively. How many times do we consider and pray for Mother Earth to bring healing to her, to bring a detoxification to her ecosystem? What this is doing is very helpful, but it's also very unbalanced. It directs all this energy to her, and it brings all of this energy to the feminine. And because we are both the divine feminine and masculine, it leaves that masculine element rather lacking in all prayer and consideration and devotion and gratitude. By acknowledging the presence of Father Nature, we are able to not only direct healing to Mother Earth and allow her to have access to that energy, to utilize that energy to bring about healing and growth, but we're also sending and directing that gratitude and healing to Father Nature, and he can take that. And so now you have a balance between the feminine and masculine. You also have an additional spiritual being in this world working towards the healing, the growth, the betterment of not only Mother Earth, but our life here, the human species, the plants and the animals, all of our relations. It just helps to amplify the level of healing and balance that can be attained when we are not only acknowledging Mother Earth and her existence, but also Father Nature. An additional element that we receive by working with our new teacher, Father Nature, and acknowledging his existence and presence in this world, what we're doing is we're also expanding our comprehension of existence. We're expanding our comprehension of being a human being and having a human experience. We're expanding our comprehension of the plants and the animals and life here on Earth. When we acknowledge his existence, when we develop this relationship, we are opening up our mind to perceiving the world around us more accurately. As I had said, we already see in the Hermetic principle of polarity that there is both. We already see when we look to the sun and to the moon that there is both. We see that in men and women. And we also can see how there are strengths within the feminine and the masculine, between passive and active, intuitive and intellectual. We as human beings are benefiting when we utilize both ends, both elements within ourselves as we navigate our life. But comprehending the feminine and masculine is something that we look outwardly towards. We look to the people around us. We look to their manifestations in the world to learn about what does a healthy feminine look like? What does a healthy masculine look like? And it is from this knowledge that we can then progress forward and be an example of a healthy feminine, a healthy masculine, to utilize a feminine trait in a healthy way or a masculine trait in an effective and healthy way. By being able to acknowledge the presence of Father Nature, it shows us the example of what a healthy masculinity looks like, because masculinity is this containment for the feminine. It's about providing guidance. It's about holding people accountable. The healthy masculine is a critical component to life here on earth because we have both polarities. We need a healthy masculine. We need a healthy feminine. And the more we can learn about what that looks like and how we can go about doing it, the more effective we can be in our individual lives as well as collectively. Again, we see that by learning individually and healing, having more balance, evolving individually, we also can help to attain that collectively. The more that we are healing and balancing, the better this world is going to be for all of us, for all our relations, for all that we hold dear and love, for each being, whether it's a plant, animal, Mother Earth, Father Nature, our spirit guides, all of this because we are all interconnected. That not only would life here on earth be improved, but because we are connected and influencing the other dimensions, the Sirians, the Palladians, the other realms, all of this is coming together, and across existence, across the entire creation, things are improving, healing, learning, discovering, evolving. By developing this relationship with Father Nature, we are, in essence, coming into a greater balance with the world. We're coming into a greater balance within ourselves. And depending upon if you're a man or a woman, we're also healing and developing a stronger relationship to the masculine. The masculine, for those who are women, is something that we are in relation to. It can be traits that we exhibit, but it's also the men in our lives, the dynamic and relationship between us being women and being a healthy woman in alignment and balance with a healthy masculine. Learning to identify the different traits, learning to appreciate the different styles of being a man or a woman, and also learning to identify what a healthy masculine looks like so that we can enter into a healthy relationship, so that we can have an appropriate expectation, standard, or even just an acknowledgement of this is behavior that's a healthy masculine, I want to support that, or this is not healthy behavior, I can now identify this as dysfunctional. For the women of the world, having this relationship with Father Nature can teach us about what to expect, what to look for, how to understand and appreciate a healthy masculinity. It can also help us to bring healing to individual and even ancestral trauma from shadow masculinity, the flip side of healthy masculinity. By bringing that healing, we are not only improving things moving forward, but bringing peace to things that have happened in the past, to bringing healing that will travel vibrationally up the line ancestrally to the women who have come before us. For the men, it's going to be able to show them what healthy masculinity looks like, what it can do, how it works, and it can inspire and teach them. It can also bring healing to the masculine, because a healthy masculine who is taught by someone who's in the shadow aspect of the masculine can lose their way, can be traumatized, can be trapped within their own construct. And by learning what a healthy feminine looks like is going to heal the woman, heal the man. Learning what a healthy masculine looks like is going to heal the woman, heal the man. It just improves things all across the board. As you can see, by meeting and developing a relationship with Father Nature, so many wonderful things are going to be accomplished. Not only is this spiritual being going to be acknowledged and have his existence restored to our human comprehension, but also he is going to be replenished by our acknowledgement, by our gratitude and our love, by the energy that we send him, and he can direct and utilize that energy to help bring healing to the world, to help bring balance, to help Mother Earth. Her partner has been largely unacknowledged in this world, and so she's been carrying some of that energy and the emotional burden on her own despite having that partnership. And now to come and find both ends of the polarity, to acknowledge both of the duality, is going to bring balance and healing for her, for the planet, for us as a species, for all our relations, the plants and the animals. It's also going to help us in our comprehension of things. The more we understand this world, the more that we see and expand our realm of knowledge, the more effectively we can navigate the world, the more grounded we can feel, more balanced. It is going to help us on an individual level in our growth and development, as well as our healing, to be able to look to the feminine in Mother Earth and see what a healthy feminine looks like, whether it is a trait or us as women. And also looking to the healthy masculine to be able to see how a healthy trait of the masculine, whether it be containment or dominion. It's also going to bring us an example, what to look for, what to expect, what to promote, as well as to bring healing. It is by looking outwardly at this representation of the feminine and masculine, this manifestation, that we can heal, balance, make the world a better place. So before I leave you, I want to talk a little bit about what that Mother Earth and Father Nature looks like, to help you understand and to acknowledge the spiritual being that is Mother Earth, our planet, and Father Nature. To do that, I want to show you imagery within the tarot, because tarot is this representation of archetypal forces within our world. It's a representation of the knowledge that we as human beings possess. Within the tarot, we have in the major arcana the Empress and the Emperor. And we see that already we have duality being represented. We have this feminine aspect and the masculine aspect. We will encounter both in the world. We will possess both in ourselves. And having a healthy understanding of what that means and looks like can help us to have accurate and healthy expectations of ourselves and others. One of the examples that I think is really potent to understanding the difference between feminine and masculine was through the teaching styles of a parent. When you have a young toddler, a mother is going to continue teaching the same thing to a child. This teaching style ensures that the child will learn what they absolutely need to know. Ensure they know how to eat, how to get dressed, ensure that they know how to tie their shoes. It's the intentional teaching of the woman that's going to make sure that they know what they need to know. On the flip side, when you look to a father interacting with a child, as soon as that child gets bored with whatever toy they're playing with, the father generally gets bored as well and moves on to something else. That consistency of redirecting the child to continue doing the same thing, to come back to even though they got bored or distracted and do the same thing, is absent when you look to the father. But what the father is teaching the child is how to handle disappointment. Because as soon as the father also gets bored, he's going to stop playing to go grab a different toy. And during those few moments, sometimes even seconds, where the child is not playing or being engaged with, they get disappointed. Oh, I'm not having fun anymore. This isn't what I wanted. And what this does is it starts to train the child how to handle disappointment. So that whether it's a couple seconds between games as the father grabs a new toy, whether it's losing a board game, it slowly will build upon itself until that child has been raised to not only handle the disappointment of switching games in those few seconds, but also can handle the disappointment of not getting the job, of ending a relationship, of not meeting their dreams, of having a failure. The preparation and the development of learning how to handle disappointment begins by the father stopping the game and grabbing a different toy. The father is teaching something and the mother is teaching something. Their techniques, their style of teaching are individual. One is a feminine expression and one is a masculine expression, but both are essential to developing and guiding a child to become well-rounded, balanced. It is through that village, through both the expression of the feminine and masculine, that we develop more fully, more balanced, more healthy, more complete, more successful. The feminine and the masculine are going to express themselves in different ways. They might choose to take the same action. They might choose to say the same thing, but one might be coming from an intuitive place and one might be coming from an intellectual place. The intuitive is aligned with the feminine vibration, the intellectual, the masculine. We carry both within us. We are both the feminine and masculine. And we also have a dominant. I am a woman in this lifetime. My soul vibration is more feminine than masculine. But I carry both. I can express both. I can learn a masculine trait and utilize it to be able to create the things that I want, to facilitate what I dream. When we have an understanding that the feminine and masculine look different, operate differently, it helps us to have a healthy standard and expectation, not only for ourselves, but for others. If you look to the father and see him give up on playing this game and get a new game and understand that this is teaching a child how to handle disappointment, then he is no longer doing it wrong. He's no longer doing it differently. He's doing it in the way that he can offer guidance to a child. If a father looks to a mother and she keeps redirecting the child to the game the child doesn't really want, but will teach the child a very important skill, it is no longer wrong. It is now understood that the mother is contributing. So both are coming together to help raise this child the best that it can possibly be raised. When we look to the feminine and to the masculine, when we look to the men and the women in the world and understand that they're going to do things differently, but that it means that we're going to have a more well-rounded, balanced, complete species, then we can stop holding people to dysfunctional behavior and start embracing what is healthy. To begin with, when you look to the Empress card, to the feminine, we see here she is the creator. She has this 3 energy of creation, of taking and bringing these ideas, giving life, fertility, birth. We see the plentifulness in the grain. We see the element of the mind being involved. We see her passion, her purity of intent. We also see here with the stars, that there's an intuitive connection. Mother Earth is in conversation with spirit, with the moon, with the sun, with the different planets and stars. Mother Earth is in conversation with souls who are getting ready to come and incarnate here in the world. She's in conversation with those of us who tap into her consciousness and channel information. She is this feminine energy. So whether or not we are a woman, the feminine aspects is about connecting intuitively. It's about having purity of intention so that what we're creating can manifest in a beautiful, harmonious way. It's about creativity, fertility, about creating space to create something. If you fill up the space, then you can't put something new. You can't create something new. That sometimes it is by clearing out that something new can be brought in. This is that feminine, whether or not it's a woman we're talking about or even the feminine trait within yourself. When you then look to the Emperor, we have the masculine, which we're going to see evidence of in Father Nature. We see here that he is this force, stability, which means he's going to provide containment so that there is safety to create, so that there is support. He's also the practical. One of the sayings within tarot is that the Emperor teaches us that we must follow the rules. We must play within the box in order to be successful. Essentially saying that if you don't pay your bills, if you don't follow the steps on the instruction list, you won't be successful. The Emperor is teaching that things have to be done in a logical, specific way. So here we see that evidence of the mind. Intuitively, this is where we want to go. Intuitively, this is what we want to build. Intuitively, we're tapping into maybe a different frequency to create. We're tapping into the 6th dimension and the Sirians. But to actually build the pyramids, mathematically, scientifically, there is a process. You can't put the top point of the pyramid on until you've built up the base. You have to have within that a specific way of doing, a standard, that there is containment for the feminine. We also see here that he is maintaining what he's built, that if you neglect or if you no longer continue to work with what you've built, that it will fall into disrepair and decay. The masculine here, we look to Father Nature and we see that he's continuing to cultivate what Mother Earth grows and builds. The forest fire can clear out the debris that blocks the roots and the trees. It can clear out the debris so new seeds can be grown. The maintaining and maintenance of the forest that's already been built, already been grown by Mother Earth, is essential, or that forest will fall into decay. The Emperor is in partnership with the Empress. And so this partnership is happening within you. You are creative. You're thinking thoughts, you're going about and building things, developing relationships. All of this is a creative effort to bring together things that were apart, to create something that was within your mind, to channel information through intuition, whether that channeling is conscientious or just tapping into inspiration. And we see the balancing force of that in the Emperor. The Emperor is the partner to the Empress. He is providing containment, a safe environment to tap into your intuition. He's providing logic. Okay, you want to build a pyramid. To do that, we're going to need blocks. We're going to need people doing it. We're going to need to build a base before we can build higher. We're going to need to study the different properties of the rocks so we know how to piece them together so they don't deteriorate. Okay, we have a pyramid now. We're now going to need to take care of it so it doesn't crumble and fall apart. It is the partnership, both ends of the duality, this law of polarity, that when we honor both of them at the same level, one is not better than the other. They are both partners, essential, this teamwork. When we adopt both of them, we are bringing balance to ourselves. We are bringing a deeper level of healing. We are bringing a deeper level of understanding to what we need in order to navigate and be successful in this world. We're bringing an understanding of how to perceive and expect the people around us, that feminine might behave differently than the masculine, the man, the woman. All of this is about bringing our comprehension of the world around us, of ourselves, of the people, of Mother Earth and Father Nature, the plants and the animals. It's about bringing that all together so that we can bring it to the next level, to expand our realm of knowledge, to help things, to heal things. It is quite astounding to me that it had never occurred to me that Mother Earth was lacking her balancing force of Father Nature until his spiritual being was introduced to me by my spirit guides. Over the course of the month of September, we are immersed in this masculine energy, introducing us to Father Nature. It provides us an opportunity to develop this relationship, if that is what you choose, to not only have this relationship with Mother Earth, but have one with Father Nature. It provides us an opportunity to bring healing to the masculine within our experiences, within ourselves, and allow that healing to travel upward through our ancestry to heal old wounds, to bring this understanding to our perception presently, to ourselves, to others, to our relationship dynamics, to the dynamics within our work. How you utilize this month's energy, what you choose to do in relation to building this relationship, to considering the balancing force of Father Nature and how it is influencing life here on Earth, how it's influencing the strength and capability of Mother Earth. This is an opportunity to heighten your understanding, to heighten and strengthen your balance, to bring a deeper level of healing. And if you're interested in continuing this journey with me as I dive deeper into my relationship with Father Nature and continue to channel about this month's energy, I provide a weekly energy reading for a $30 subscription, and a link to that is in the description box. I want to thank you for taking this time to listen and meet, to discover this spiritual being that is Father Nature, the green man who walks among us, guiding the plants and the animals, and even guiding us in harmony and partnership with Mother Earth. Thank you for checking out this video. I'll see you again soon.